I was covering baseball regionals today at Carroll High School, and I ran across one of my friends that I've known for quite a while, Christina Ehle-Fails, one of the few teacher/athletic trainers I've come across in the years of covering high school sports. So I asked her to be on my YouTube interview channel, 13 strips of tape. If you know, you know. And she agreed. And she also had a really cool shirt on today. If you look in the, it's an Andy Owen Day in honor of Andy Owen retiring from teaching. One of my good friends that I coached baseball with quite a few years. So check this out. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and also check out Howie's Athletic Tape. Okay, really good tape for your athletes. It's one of the best I've come across in years and years, and I'm really happy to support it and use it for our athletes. So check this out. Welcome to our next edition of 13 Strips of Tape. If you know, you know. This is our little interview with athletic trainers, and Christina Ehle-Fails has graciously agreed to be on this interview. So thank you for
No problem.
So.
No problem at all.
Yeah. And so we're out here at a regional baseball game, Snyder versus Homestead. And I'm here interviewing Christina, because Christina's been an athletic trainer for a long time. How'd you get into athletic training?
Well, honestly, when I was in undergrad, athletic training was just something that was a minor that people were picking up. I was a biology major, human biology, and I thought maybe I would go to physical therapy school, and people had mentioned, maybe try athletic training to help you get into physical therapy. And someone that I knew pretty well, Troy Smith with IPT, he had gone to the same college, and he went into athletic training and then into PT school. I thought, okay, that'll be cool. Let me try it. And I really, really enjoyed it from the beginning.
Where did you go to school?
I went to the University of Indianapolis. Okay. And so they had a program where the PTs would, during PT school, some of them that were athletic trainers would be GAs for the athletic training program there, and help work and help pay for their college. So got to know kind of both sides of it, and cruised along a little bit during school, and really, really, really liked the athletic training side. But when I got out in 1995, there wasn't a lot of jobs, and came back here, Fort Wayne. I had this human biology degree, and I was like, what am I going to do? And decided I better, make sure I could use that degree. So I got my teaching license, which you can understand that. So I did that in a year, and then things started to open up, and then I started to work for O&E, and then, we kind of transitioned then into Parkview Sports Medicine, and now I'm kind of on the other end of it. So
you're originally from Fort Wayne area?
Yep, originally from the Fort Wayne area. My husband he's younger than me, so he was still in college while I was getting that transition year, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And then I ended up getting a teaching job before I got an athletic training job, which is kind of weird. They didn't think they needed anybody. And back then, athletic trainers came to schools like 2 days a week. One lunchtime and one after school. And
it was very sparse back then.
Very sparse. And they thought that was great. They loved it. And now, as you and I both know, they wouldn't be able to survive a moment without athletic trainers and everything.
It's a full-time job,
and then some.
And you're every day a week, 6 days a week, and even on call sometimes on the weekends.
Yes, absolutely. And the summer has changed, as you know too. With sports opening up, being able to see their kids and do practices year round, it really changed.
Yeah, high school sports has really, really shown what athletic trainers can really do at the secondary level.
Absolutely.
And how, just the profession has grown at the secondary level with athletic trainers. The athletes getting to know, the coaches getting to know, the parents, the administration has really embraced athletic trainers.
Absolutely.
Because of the role that we can fill in that job space.
Right. And it really took some stress off coaches. I know when you and I both probably started, coaches were doing a lot of it. And making those and they didn't want to, but there was nobody else to make those decisions. And it really, you could almost feel them relax as I was around more and more. Oh, I don't have to do this, or I don't have to make this decision. This is you. And they really, really appreciated that. So
it really has opened up what coaches can now just coach. They don't have to worry about all the other things. They don't have to worry about whether this kid's going to practice or not, whether this kid's going to play or not.
Mm-hmm.
They can just totally depend on athletic trainers to make all those evaluations and judgment calls, and,
Mm-hmm.
and they trust us, which is great.
Which is which is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Where did you first start teaching at?
My very first job out of college, I was subbing because I student taught in the fall. So I was subbing at Snyder, and my principal at Snyder came up to me and said, "Hey, I got you a job interview after school. If you get this job, don't get comfortable because I'm taking you back." So I started at Northside.
Okay.
And so I was there for about 2 years. And then I, kept talking to O&E with, Joe Bear was in charge then, and kept talking to him about wanting to do more athletic training stuff. And I started to get a little bit involved at Northside. The funny thing is they saw at that time teaching jobs were pretty competitive as well,
Yes.
and they had a need for a cheerleading coach. And part of my athletic training, I guess, is in the summers I would work for a big company out of Tennessee that did cheer camps and dance camps across the country. So they assumed then that I was a cheer coach, and they're like, "Hey, can you coach cheerleading?" I'm like, "Whatever, I'll just get the job. I'll do the job," even though I did it as a first aider, in college and stuff, and really, really like that. It gave me a lot of experience too. But I just kept gradually, and then I came to Snyder in the fall of 2000, and it just evolved. Coach Russ Isaacs was the football coach then, and he knew what an athletic trainer meant.
Yes.
He wanted that every day, and so he did whatever he could to help, like, get me some pay. And then, gradually O&E, took me on, and then I ended up doing it full time, kind of like you.
Yeah, yeah. And we're one of the two here in Fort Wayne that taught full day, and then athletic trainer at night afterwards, second shift hours, and
weekends,
weekends, and then the late nights and everything that goes along with that. So you've always been one of those persons that I can commiserate with and understand, and talk to about, how many hours we're putting in.
Yes.
During the fall, it's really the busiest season, and everything that went with it.
And it was just, it was just part of the routine. Monday nights, I've got a JV game. Okay, I get to school at 6:37, whatever, depending on our start time, because that changed too. School start time, and then you come home at 8, 9 o'clock and think, okay, turn around, do it again. It's just what you did.
And we just don't know any different.
You just because, right. Just don't know any different. And I loved it for so long, so I ended up doing 26 years. And then once I turned 50, I knew I had some opportunities, and I was ready to, the landscape of teaching has changed greatly with different laws in the state and different things coming out. And I was, starting to feel that burn. And so I went ahead and went PRN athletic training and stepped down from teaching. And now I'm back at O&E working in the clinic. So, and clinical athletic trainers is another thing that's just expanded so much, and which is awesome,
Yeah, and that really helps out the physicians and getting the patients into and out of the rooms and the office and everything. It really helps them out tremendously. I think that's another area that athletic training has really grown over the last 20 years.
Yes.
And expanded into. And
absolutely. We went to a conference this winter that was just for athletic trainers in physician practices, and athletic trainers are being used in the operating room. They're kind of like first assists in a lot of places around the country, not in Indiana yet. They are being utilized in the hospital as rounding ATs, to help out the doctors and round, and, obviously in our clinic, and, just different places that they're being utilized. So people don't have to do a nights and weekends job and still be an athletic trainer. I think we're being more and more recognized as a healthcare professional that has a huge skill set.
Yes.
So
it's good for more people to realize that. And there's, are some licensed healthcare practices might feel a little threatened with athletic trainers not knowing, but once they get to know us and once they get to know what our profession is and our expertise and everything that we can bring to the table, that helps out.
Yeah, at O&E we just had an opening. We've got a lot of different openings to be like a position of attachment or with a physician. And a lot of the physicians are like, I want an athletic trainer. Do you have an athletic trainer available? Because they know that the knowledge base is there. When notes come in, when pictures of possible infections come in, athletic trainer knows what to do.
Education as
Education,
well.
yes.
Education for
the parents and patients,
and the families as well.
They do, athletic trainers in the office do a lot of post-ops, so they're removing all the sutures and staples and cleaning things up and applying wound vacs and doing all that stuff. So it's really, really grown. And I think you and I have a great perspective on it of how it changed from, you just maybe did Friday night football games to, oh, wow, now every single day they need somebody needs something, Yeah.
So it's nice to get to talk with you.
Yeah, you too, as always.
And I want people to get to know, more about the athletic training profession. So that's why I've kind of started this little YouTube channel. So I appreciate you being on this.
No problem.
And the number of years that we've been working together and on opposing sidelines, but still, that's one of the best parts is when you get to see somebody on the other sideline that you know exactly what they're going through and how hard they're working as well. And you get to be good friends with them as well.
Be friends for a long time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Appreciate
Thanks.
you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. But I'm here interviewing Lauren because
Got to do some more editing. It's all right. She's my niece. It's okay.